Before tanned skin was ever stretched over eardrums, before sound's mallets ever caressed our inner tympanum, before man started speaking with the chatter of his tongue, there was the sound of none. Then silence was put into a conundrum, the stillness of void pierced by the creation of noise, the booming of words, the beginning of earth. New birth could be heard as life began to spurt. Plants stretched and yawned from their seeds. Water went rushing through gills in the seas. Cries from the newborns of nature's pregnancy, and lies were overheard behind the fruit of a tree. Hear the sounds of deceit, the bite of an apple, the hiss from the mud, the exit in shackles, the crying of blood, the snake's cruel rattle, the roaring of floods, the hammers of Babel, the fruit as it buds. Hear the mountain of man shift away from Mount Zion, the mountain of God. Hear the echoes of our cries as they fall, not rise, in the canyon between us and the creator of our life. We are destined to die. Our sin has earned this penalty. Can't you hear our flesh withering with age, wrinkling with disease? Listen to these cancers grow, taking life out of our families, the final word of the infirmaries. Hearken to the weapons of war, the slaughtering of our sons, the making of enemies, the dropping of bombs, the trampling of beauty. Take in the sound of our dying, the cries of poverty, the crush of pornography, the lies of adultery, the lust of idolatry. We are lost in the noise of our own depravity. Listen to the rebellion of men, the haughty scoffs of his pride. Hear the heart of God break as we defile his design. Amazing space, how deep the ground that separates humanity. We all are lost, and now we've found the blinding sound of our fatality. But God's grace would not give up that easily. Grace was heard audibly. Listen to the stretching of skin as God is poured within, the gasps of angelics as the King leaves heaven, the laughs of hell as deity is born to men, the slamming of doors at the inn of Bethlehem, the carving of wood, a peasant in Jerusalem, the dropping of nets, the gathering of fishermen, the utterance of parables humbly teaching them, the cracking of bones, the straightening of limbs, the scales falling off eyes, the restoration of vision, and the hush talk of Pharisees. The betrayal begins. The clanging of silver, the exchanging of bribes, the passing of bread, the drinking of wine, the tears of Gethsemane, the garden's cries, the presence of soldiers, the kiss full of lies, the sentence of Pilate, the crowd's voices rise, the crack of the whip, the cat with tails of 9, the piercing of nails, the hammer, it drives, the groan of the cross, the Savior, he dies. For our sin he came, for our sin he died, and with our sin we slayed his sinless life. Now in the ground he lies after paying our price, for we could not make right the sound of our strife. But there are whispers from the grave, shuffles in the dark. As dead eyes awake, death's end gets its start. Listen to the trembling of skin, the sound of grace coming to life. Hear the last breath of sin as the husband rises for his wife. Amazing faith, how deep the vow that engaged a wretch like me. All was lost to make us found, the death of heaven's mystery. Now listen to the stone cower from the mouth of the grave. Hear the wrappings rip off the body that was raised. Can't you perceive the resounding brilliance of the one who had died? Listen to this proclamation. He is not dead. He is alive. Now all that was dark may be brought to the light. Now all that was wrong may be made right. Now all that was dead may be given new life. Now all that was sinful may be forgiven in God's sight. Hear that sweet sound of shame running from your heart. Hear your old songs of pain turn into how great thou art. Hear your pity turn to praise. Hear your passion find its place. Hear your beating heart skip as you hear God call your name. You are not alone. Heaven ripped open and forgave you. You are not meant to die, but God did in your place just to save you. You are no accident. He created creation knowing He would create you, and you are not forgotten. Just remember, those horns will blow when He returns to reclaim you. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved all humanity. We once were deaf, but now we hear the shouts of His victory.